Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Dark Anime Robin. In this video, I'll be unboxing and reviewing the Transformer Legacy Unite Beast Wars Universe Magmatron. And for those who are unfamiliar with the character Magmatron, he is the leader of the Predacon faction from the Japanese anime series Beast Wars Neo. And it might be hard to see down here, but this figure is a Commander class. And a little unique among most Transformers, especially as a Predacon or Decepticon leaders. Magmatron is got a feature that he's a 3-in-1 Transformers or Cybertronian, that he changes or splits into 3 dinosaurs, and which can also combines into his robot form here. And let's see the case before we open it up. You can see there's like a plesiosaur, a pterodactyl leg, and a T-Rex that he transforms into. Let me open this up. So looks like we have the figure starting in primarily the robot form. And we also have the instructions here. So at first it looks like they want us to set up its robot form first before showing us how to transform it into each of the dinosaur parts. And on the instruction, they give the name to each of the component dinosaur. The plesiosaur is called Zeosaurus, and the T-Rex is called Lansaurus, and the last one, the pterodactyl, is called Skysaurus. And apparently the 3 dinosaur can also be combined into another beast mode that is called Magmatron. So as you can see from the back, there's all these rope or wire that's tangled, so I'm gonna untangle them. All of these wires or ropes are untangled. You can start pulling the figure off, and looks like some parts already fell down. Okay, here we go. Now just have to kind of get this line off of him. There's still little ties down there, which I'm just simply gonna cut it off. So yeah, that's the mess of trying to get this figure. You have to go through all these trouble to remove them. And now let's set this figure up. There's also a wrap that was attached inside the cardboard here. Let's see what we got in here. Okay, I see. So these must be like the energy blast effect parts that can like be attached to weapons to show like energy blasting attacks. There's also these paper wraps you're gonna around his like head set. You're gonna have to peel them off. And looks like we have a Predicon symbol crystal piece here. So the first thing to do in setting up the figures, first you have to like set the tail straight, and also there's another tail there. You also lower it down, and now you lower the green back piece down. And first you're gonna have to flip these two pieces, so here you can click into the gray piece here. And now this Stegosaurus head is gonna come to the front. So this way, it's like all three dinosaur heads are up front. The head actually has to go up front here. It's supposed to cling to another gray piece here. So yeah, you're gonna have to like play around with all these articulation to get it in the right spot. Here. Okay, good. So now here we go, let the wing down. So obviously you want to turn the head a little, so we have it. So here's how it's generally set up at the beginning. Now in this bag there's another piece. Which is like another weapon, and these two, and these gonna be set on here. Okay, so this is general setup of a robot, and then these three pieces here are his weapons pieces, and now we're gonna put it on him. Now, this is like the blade of his sword, and this purple piece is the handle, so it goes on here, and in the handle there's another predicon crystal symbol. And now the sword goes on his right hand and fits in easily. And this big piece here is shield. And can easily go on his arm piece like here. So this one has to fit in this hole here, although it can be a little bit tricky, but hey, there we go. Clink, finish clicking. So here we go. We have the shield, we have the sword. That's a general setup. Some of those energy effect parts you saw can actually work with the sword. So first we put them together. This. And then put them with the sword. And now we have like, it's as if like the sword's glowing or charging with energy. That's part of the effect. This is like emulating what is shown on the package here. He has another set of weapons, which was the red sword. You just saw I put on his like big ears. So we can hold them on. Now let's spin a minute or two exploring the robot mode's articulation. So as you saw earlier, its arm's pretty movable. It can open a hand like that. Well, it cannot articulate all its fingers, but at least this way it looks like he can open his hand. It'll turn into fist. Same thing on the left hand. And it's got pretty nice joints for articulation on the arm. The legs can move nicely. So can the feet. So that's how he can stand pretty nicely. Pretty good balance. And his head can turn. However, the big ear is getting in the way, so you kind of have to move it a bit. So the head can only turn like about 40 degrees left and right because, again, how its own ears is getting in the way. Although, still, it's not completely immobile, so you can still make some good angle posture. So again, the hands are very more articulated. You can put on all kinds of weapon swinging action with his hand and arms. There's also another Predicon crystals here. So the legs can definitely move down and up, and the thing as a way to control it, you can hear all that sounds. It means it's pretty tight joint, so be careful. We have to be careful to move them. And so the hip or the waist cannot turn, so that's another limited range of motion there. But it still has a pretty good, nice movement. So now let's move on to separating them to the 3 dinosaur components. So these weapons are actually part of Magmatron's component dinosaur. So in order to start transforming him into his 3 separate dinosaur components, we will start by transforming these weapons pieces to the parts they would fit into those dinosaurs. We first transform the sword handle piece. Now, then you have to press in here. This part is kind of tight, so you have to do it carefully. I would argue this is a design flaw here, so this piece was so hard to get out. have to press down this part in order to release these clamps. Yeah, so there's a lot of folding for this part. Then yeah, so this transformation is complete. Next, we transform the shield into the lower half body of the Stegosaurus. So now this piece is complete. Now we start taking Magmatron apart. Yeah, it's very tight, so you're gonna have to put some effort to it. Okay, so there we go. Now, if we effectively fold them into like 3 pieces here. And then these 3s are gonna transform and combine to those other weapons parts with the saw to form the dinosaurs. Let's start forming the Stegosaurus. And then the next thing to do is the arm here has to clink down. It's not gonna be a tight clink, but it has to. Okay. This part actually has to open first for now. Then this arm here rotate, and then this hand clink in here. And this one also. In here. Here. Like that. And then this part is tricky. You have to lift this up and then turn it this way. Let me think. Okay, so no, this way, and then this has to slide up like that. And then now everything's in place. So now we start closing up this part. And finally, we start putting these two together. Yeah, gotta keep everything steady. So there it is, the Theosaurus. Now that the transformation is complete, let's work on setting up a good pose. Yeah, the good thing is the neck is flexible and posable. So this is one way to pose it, and probably if you want to go all the way coming up. Yeah, like that. Let's turn Magmatron's headpiece into the Skysaurus. go. And now we'll transform this piece into Landosaurus. Now, first we begin by taking this piece down and move this one piece up. Now, the next part is a bit tricky. You're gonna have to like unhook this part up here and then go like this, and then come back up and turn the head 90 degrees to turn the dinosaur head forward. Then move these green piece all the way down. Next, you rotate these pieces and put them together. And then lower this piece down. Lift the head up. Then close this side up. See how this holes, and these are clinks. You have to clink them. Do the same on this side. Now we put the piece transformed from the sword handle down here, like at the end of the tail. It can be kind of tricky to finish this form here. Okay, so see, this has to slide down in here. And then this has to come up here. Here we go. All cling together. There was actually a lot of pieces you have to clink off on the inside of this piece to the green piece in there, as well as up here. Have to clink together. And then you can put the legs together. And next, we go back to the back of the legs. We start putting the mechanical piece inward. down to the feet. So there's some black clouds that's in between the claws. These have to be retracted too. These go in. Finally, we can pull the hand out. And now to make it able to stand better, we pull the legs up so it kind of covers up the mechanics inside. And then you put the feet down. And the feet. And then the sword of the Magmatron is gonna go into inside the tail here. Like this. Now the last thing to do is open up its jar, even though it can only open a little. So here we go. This is Landosaurus. Now, before we go further, let's quickly explore the articulation of these individual dinosaurs. For the Skysaurus, it has its little joint on its neck, then can open up the jar, and the wing can rotate its shoulder a bit, so you can put on a different look holes. Its legs are also a bit articulated. So you can adjust how you want to set, although this is the only way to kind of set it up without falling apart. For the Ceosaurus, as you saw previously, the most articulate portion of this figure is its neck. You can essentially kind of make a lot of turns, a lot of different different twists with the neck. Then the jaw can open. Beyond that, it's just its fin down here, which is not really good for posing. Now for the align the Saurus. Well, the most movable part is its small arm here, and the jaw can only open a little. And the tail can swing a bit. As for its size, it's best to keep it at this spot, otherwise it'll really reveal all the content inside. Lots of machinery and all, you don't want that. The feet part can also move a bit, so you can change it for a little pose, although that will affect its balance. Now let's combine them into their Megasaurus mode. Now we begin by transforming the Ceosaurus, which you have to take out, separate into the two pieces again. Now we start transforming this lower half side. We go back to the upper half. Slide it down again. Turn. You flip this piece out and use it to clink this. Do the same on this side. And then also pull up this piece here. This effectively becomes the second half of the Megasaurus body. Now this part is going to be attached to the Lansaurus, and to do that, see this part of Lansaurus tail here and here, they're gonna be clicked with this part and this part. And also, before we did that, we also want to open up these two parts here, which are also gonna help lock it in by attaching this to this hole in the tail here, and this one on the other side, the other hole in the tail. So now, first we click, so click. It can be a bit tricky because you have to keep the tail and everything steady. Okay, got it. And then the same thing over here. So now got these parts connected. Now we open this back piece, and then we took the other part of Theosaurus and see all the holes here. Just gotta match them and press them down close. Finally, we start transforming the Skysaurus. So the legs are gonna be bent a little. And now we put them down. Okay, now pretty much lock in place like that. There we go. So we can leave them like this, so we can have the head up and as well as this side of the head. So there we go. Now all three heads are up, and there, here we have them. The Megasaurus. So now, let's see. And as Megasaurus, it is essentially a three-headed dinosaur with like a centaur-like body, and the most articulate part remains the neck of the Ceosaurus, which essentially like also double as a tail for the Megasaurus. It doesn't have any other most other extra articulation except maybe the wings and legs. If you have a good stand, you can make it like try to stand up and roll, but that's not exactly a good idea. So this form is more good for display than if you want to actually do something else with it, but it's still pretty fearsome looking. And I would say it is this form that makes Magmatron somewhat more unique among Transformer than anything else, because any Transformers that's like a combiner or or has a dinosaur mode, they don't usually and cannot combine as dinosaur. Now Magmatron is like one of few, if not the only exception capable of achieving a form like this. And if being able to combine into this form is a good, like a very something that you really like, then I say this is definitely a good figure to add to your collection. So, as mentioned, because Magmatron is a unique transformer who can split into three dinosaurs, who in turn can merge into a dinosaur combiner form that is Megasaurus. I believe this is a great addition to any Transformers fan, especially if you really like Transformer who can turn into dinosaurs. And because it's in the Legacy series, so this is a remake of an original figure. If you never got the original, this is your second chance to get it. But as you've seen me trying to put these figure apart and together, so this transformer, the transformation process can be kind of complex, and a lot of the parts that attach this figure together can be very tight, which is both a good and bad thing. It's good because it provides stability for this figure, so it's not gonna just simply get shaken loose as you hold it in your hands. But the downside is when you try to split into its dinosaur component, it's gonna be a little hard to pull them apart. So all the steps have to be taken very carefully. And this wraps up my review for this figure. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, please click like and subscribe to my channel. If you have any question, please leave them in the comment section. I will answer with the best of my ability. And please check out other videos in my channel. Thanks.